On June 25, 2024, in a seismic moment of history for Kenya, enraged protesters breached the fortress-like defenses and stormed the hallowed halls of the parliament building.
I'm here to address you. You must go.
An institution steeped in 117 years of reverence and symbolic fortitude. It stands as the August House, a sanctum of dignity and grandeur, a fortress of protocol, where its inner chambers are glimpsed solely through the lenses of parliamentary-controlled cameras. Here resides members elevated by the solemn honorifics of the Honorable, where cartoonists and satirists dare not tread, and where the entry is granted only to those adorned in proper attire, ensconced within its precincts. But on this day, the newcomers paid scant heed to the established rules of decorum. The question lingers: what spurred the wrathful protesters to breach the sacred walls of Parliament? To unravel this mystery, let us journey back through the annals of time to explore the sequence of events that culminated in this historic moment.
Rex, who according to witness reports was on his way home from work, was shot.
Kenya awoke to a heart-wrenching dawn as news spread that a promising youth named Rex Masai had fallen to what many whispered was a fatal embrace of a police bullet. Little did they know, this was just the first ripple in a storm brewing on the horizon. Throughout the day, reports flooded in of alleged state forces hijacking protesters with influential online voices, casting a shadow over the nation's conscience. Thousands of Kenyans flooded the digital arena, where for 7 hours straight, voices rose like thunderclaps, denouncing the government's draconian Finance Bill 2024.
After we are done with rejecting this finance bill, we need to come up with a blueprint of agenda.
Amidst the torrent, there echoed a unified chorus pleading for the release of Billy.
We need Billy released. Billy has done no crime.
While government officials, daring to join, found themselves in a symphony of silence, denied a single note in the uproar. Across the land, a hush fell over the pulsing heartbeats of clubs and gathering places, where merrymakers raised their voices in a scheduled 7-day symphony of anti-finance bill refrains.
Before you today is the Youth Serving Christ Holy Family Basilica, and we're here and we have an announcement.
This Sunday diverged from the norm for Christian believers as youths in bustling cities and quiet towns alike stormed churches with a singular resounding message.
Reject the finance bill. 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 Reject the finance bill.
And before the sun dipped below the horizon, Billy, whose name danced across myriad social media platforms and graced every placard like a vibrant beacon of hope, emerged from the clashes of his captors, freed by the tidal wave of tweets and retweets bearing the hashtag FreeBilly on X platform.
I don't know about Billy, bro.
Buoyed by the supportive currents from the Law Society of Kenya.
I want to confirm that we've been able to rescue Billy safe and sound.
I'm safe. Thanks, everyone.
Across county lines, a tide of Generation Zoomers surged forth in formidable numbers, holding aloft placards that voiced their defiance against a system that enriched the powerful at their expense.
Unaona pesa ya mkarabati? Haya moja. 1.7, 1.8, 1.9, 1.9, 2 million. 2.1, 2.2.
The morning, pregnant with tension, bathed an afternoon ablaze with tear gas. As the atmosphere transformed from a whispering breeze to a tempest of unrest around the parliament buildings, a fortress of security stands sentinel, with police erecting barricades like guardians shielding a sacred citadel, bracing for the climactic third reading of the Finance Bill 2024.
Honorable members, I now beg to propose the question, which is that the Finance Bill, National Assembly Bill number 30 of 2024, be now read a third time.
Meanwhile, within the heart of the bustling central business district, the protesters' plan to besiege parliament slowly bears fruit, drawing in thousands like a river gathering strength on its journey. At a crucial juncture, the swelling tide of protesters surged with such force that the police, like a dam against a raging river, were compelled to push back and unleash tear gas canisters to quell the passionate surge. After hours of battering against the fortress of police barricades, the youthful protesters triumphantly breached the defenses like a relentless tide wearing down cliffs, rendering the once impregnable metallic fences defenseless against the fury of hundreds of enraged youths. During this dramatic episode, the honorable members fled for safety through an underground labyrinth, seeking refuge from the tempest unleashed by passing unpopular bill. Beyond the parliament's sacred precincts, the revered image of the legislative house suffered a grievous blow with the tragic loss of protesting lives. Armed with banners of dissent, some met their fate under the sun's gaze, both outside and within the sanctum of the legislative edifice. To exacerbate the pain, the police cast their net wide, indiscriminately striking down all in their path, including journalists and medical personnel.
But even in those places of refuge and medical help, they were still attacked by tear gas throwing security officers.
Evening unfurled like a canvas of horror, woven with threads of unprecedented events that stain the fabric of time with indelible darkness. Ambulances dart like lifelines, police reinforcements surges like a tidal wave, defiant youths defiantly chant anti-government refrains in the streets, all amidst the ominous whispers of media shutdown threats by the state. Thunderous Gazette notice crackles through the airwaves and headlines. The Cabinet Secretary of Defense commands the military to join forces with police in confronting tech-savvy youths armed with nothing but phones and bottles of water. Meanwhile, a battalion of police officers stands ready for deployment to the war-ravaged Caribbean nation of Haiti.
Picketing and petitioning of public authorities by a section of law-abiding citizens of the Republic of Kenya was infiltrated and hijacked by a group of organized criminals.
Amidst the solemn walls of State House, the nation address unfolds with President Ruto issuing a resolute decree.
Today's events mark a critical turning point on how we respond to grave threats to our national security.
A call to arms against the financiers of anti-finance bill protests, branding their actions as treasonous. His words echo a staunch defense of constitutional order and the sanctity of law, denouncing the demonstrators as perilous agitators.
Accordingly, I have directed all the organs of our national security to deploy measures to thwart any attempt by dangerous criminals to undermine the security and stability of our country.
Yet, against this backdrop of stern rhetoric, a poignant evening scene emerges.
Here I can see a nominated member of parliament from Baringo, Bishop Koskei there, being escorted by these protesters who are saying they come in peace and they are marching towards the other side.
Protesters at Parliament's doorsteps, guiding a disabled member of Parliament into safety, painting a starkly contrasting tableau of compassion amidst the tumult.
Looked at me and they said, "We know you, you are a good man, and we want to request that you allow us escort you out of the building, because what might happen any time from now may not be good for you, both of you. But we are not bad people. We are only agitating for what we think and we believe it is our right." And they walked us out.
As discussions on the X platform, branded Ruto as lost legitimacy, echo on, and protesters proclaiming their mission now extends beyond tax rejection to the rejection of Ruto's presidency, while a 45-minute frenzy of panic and bloodshed unfolds in the parliament precincts, leaving 6 lives extinguished when the final shot resonated into silence. What lies ahead is the uncertain path of how Kenya will navigate forward from this volatile chapter.